Hey, everybody. How's it going? As you could tell, I have like all these different artifacts around here on this stream. And I kind of earlier today, I decided I was like, I'm going to do this stream right. I'm not going to have any screw ups whatsoever. This is because I believe the last time I did a Sim Selections stream, it was a little messy, wasn't it? I think just I got disorganized and I had to have like an Excel sheet that I wasn't reading correctly, among some other things. And so today, I don't have a mic in my face. I have an overhead. I have a GPU running like an RNN noise canceling algorithm that hopefully is working well. I got sent. I don't plug it. That's probably not the smartest thing to do midstream. Got one of these Elgato face cam sent over. Just really, really amazing quality for a webcam. I was really impressed. And the it kept freezing up. I installed it last night. It kept freezing up. Then they told me to update my firmware or my BIOS on my motherboard, and I was like, well, that's kind of a hefty, risky thing to ask a customer to do, don't you think, for a webcam? But I did anyway. I was like, might as well keep things up to date. And then that didn't work, and they were like, well, you need to move. Can you downgrade to PCI version 3.0? And I was like, hold on, let me see if I have any instructions how to. There you go, there. So no. Fuck that. That's ridiculous. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna send that right back. Anyway, so it is my face, which looks like red today for some reason. I was driving around with my head outside of my car on gravel for some reason. Okay, so what else? Yeah, I have a I made ID 3 tags for every single song, and then they're automatically, supposedly, going to update a text file like every 1,000 milliseconds, and then this thing down here is going to update, and then there's even a progress bar. And then over here we have a music visualizer that I can change. It's just a beating heart now. So how cool is that? Wouldn't that be awesome if everything worked nicely and didn't run into any issues? But man, this Canon M50 is coming back. Also, would y'all be interested in a video on microphones and like actual video setups? Because there are more and more people that are just like, I was thinking about having a YouTube channel. What should I do? I get asked that a lot. Not as much as audio questions per se, but I do get asked that a lot. And I'm like, I have so many microphones, obviously, in the studio here. I have so many microphones, but I have so many cameras too. And I'm starting to like amass this massive amount of like knowledge on what works, how to do this. And this only sort of, I thought about this just yesterday because I was having this kind of public conversation on Twitter with CFAX Acid Crew, Andy Jenkinson, who, if you're not familiar with him, you should definitely listen to his music. But yeah, he was sort of asking about lav mics, and I was, yeah, anyway. But all right, so what else? Oh yeah, I was going to tell a story from my Discord. We were on my Discord, there was, in the general discussion room, there was a conversation about telemarketers and spam calls. And there seems to be a little bit of disagreement. Some people are like, who cares? Not that big of a deal. Other people think it is a big deal. Me personally, my story, or my example of why I am so fucking offended by spam calls is because they always come at the absolute worst times. And one things that happened recently to me is I woke up and I just had a headache and I was groggy, and I put on some like 240 BPM modal jazz and got in the shower and was just lost in it, just scrubbing away and just having the best time. just like, listening to this sax improvise over this, very, very subtle lack of chord progression. And yeah, I was just kind of getting in a trance, and then it muted and went like boop, 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 boop. And yeah, I just like, I'm like, okay, well, that's, I'm not going to answer that until I'm out of the shower, I'll deal with it. But then I'm like, well, what if my mom got injured, or what if something happened? What if I'm missing a meeting? That's possible too. What if that's like an alarm sound from my phone? I missed an important meeting this week just because I like glanced over it and just missed one. And so I get out of the shower wet and get water all over the place and get to my phone. And then my phone literally says spam on it. It's like, why did you even ring if it says, anyway. So I take it very offensive. I'm very offended by it a lot of times when I get a spam call. But yeah, in this chat, I mentioned that I was a telemarketer in like 1998 or something, a very long time ago when I think I actually lied about my age on the application at the time. I think you had to be 18. I think I was under 18. And I was a telemarketer for Olin Mills Portrait Studio, which was this sort of thing where you'd come in with your family and a photographer would take free pictures of you. The whole thing would be free, but then they'd sell you on the prints, and you'd get the prints, not the prints. They wouldn't sell you on the recording artist and be like, check this out, Purple Rain. Anyway, so yeah, I had this whole spiel, and they wanted you to like read from a script, and I was like, no, I want to go off script. And I even like went to the library and got some books on like selling things and just like how to get in people's heads a little bit better. And one of my methods of doing that was I would basically call them and say, hey, isn't it, it's a hot day out, isn't it? And they'd be like, oh yeah. And I'd be like, yeah, well, do you go to work today? If I was calling in the evening or something, I'd be like, yeah. And then I'd get 2 yeses. And then I'd go into like my port, like, hey, do you want a free family portrait? This and that. And, and then the upsell would be the prints later. And I had by far the highest score out of the entire telemarketing office. And so I actually got a bump. I got a pay raise. I hope my mom's watching this because she probably remembers this. I got a pay raise, and I was teaching the other telemarketers what I was doing and trying to get them to go off script. And this is all like, this career of mine probably lasted like 2 months. I just like needed money and did that. So we, this is where it gets fucked up, right? So there was this big woman from Tennessee. This is in South Chicago, by the way, where this office was, but there's this big woman from Tennessee named Christy, and she was the office manager. And somehow every now and then, not even every now and then, like every time I went to work, she would joke about crack, because I lived in the hood. I lived like, this was like further south in the suburbs, and I lived up near the city, and she knew where I grew up. And so she would always joke about crack because I grew up next to like crack house and all that stuff. And she'd be like, Ben, you bring some rocks with you, boy. And I'd be like, yeah, smoking some boulders, and just like, whatever the lingo. And I think it was just like nobody else in the telemarketing office really understood the lingo. And so it was just this like ongoing joke, and she's my boss. So I sort of kept going on with it. And she had this like old Camaro. Anyway, so one day she calls me, and I answer, and yeah, cell phones aren't around yet. I answer, and she's just like, hey, Ben, and she's from Tennessee, remember? So she's like, hey, Ben, what, can you get me some rocks? And I was like, yeah, Christy, what's going on? Do you need me to come in, or, whatever? And she's like, nah, seriously, can you get me some rocks? And I was just like, wait, really? Like, you actually smoke crack? And she was like, yeah. I mean, I like to party, and I was just wondering if you could, I need to, and she was like legitimately addicted to crack and needed her like source dried up. And so and this is my boss, right? So I'm like, fuck, I don't know what to do. Like, how do you, she knows I know where the crack houses are. And so I'm like, sure, whatever. So she picks me up in her like old dodgy Camaro, and we go right into the ghetto, And I'm like, dude, nobody's going to sell us anything in this like dodgy ass Camaro. They're going to think you're a cop. And long story short, she didn't get any, and it didn't work out. Didn't pan out for her. And the next day I show up to work and everything was gone. Every computer, every phone, like the entire office was cleared out, and nobody ever heard from her again. And that was the end of my career. So I'm not going to go into the details of the trying to find crack thing. But let's just put it this way. You could not convince anybody that she was not a police officer. And that was very, very stressful for me. Anyway, so I love reading the chat right now because people are just like, wait, you did not, what? You like, yeah, I mean, to be totally clear, the house next to me for a long time growing up was a crack house, like a straight up crack house. There was more than one on my block, and it wasn't as crazy as it sounds. I mean, it's crazy, but it's not like, I don't know. It was kind of normalized. I don't know. It was just like, yeah, that's a crack house. That kid's up to no good. You know, the kid who ran. And believe it or not, in a lot of cases, a crack house actually has a family living in it. Like it'll have like a mom and a grandma and a sister, and one of the sisters will be in college, and the youngest kid will be, you know, in a gang, and he'll have a crack house. And they kind of, you could say like, wow, what shitty parents, but like, what are they going to do? You know, ground him? Like, I don't know. You know, those situations are like a little bit more complicated and rough than a lot of people would imagine. So anyway, my neighbor was that situation. And that kid ended up, the guy, well, kid, I don't know, he's like a probably older teenager who ran the crack house. He ended up dead. But this story got not funny very fast. Anyway, so yeah, that's the end of my telemarketing career was when all of the telemarketing, basically an Owen Mills portrait studio, where it was like in the back of this portrait studio where, you know, in this building. And it's so funny that their reaction to this happening, like I didn't even know, like I didn't know who her boss was or who ran the entire portrait studio, who ran, you know, because it was a corporate thing. It was like a business that had multiple, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of Owen Mills around the country at the time, back when people did that sort of thing. And it's really funny because, like, their reaction to that was not like, oh, let's file an insurance claim, good thing. Their reaction to that was like, okay, well, we just will not have telemarketing anymore. They just stopped, and it was it. Like, I was kind of like, am I going to get my job back at any point? All right. So, hey, what do you say we listen to some music? I feel like I should have some other segue. We'll talk about this later. We'll talk about some Black Friday sales later, but well, I'm loving the chat. I wish I figured out how to have an overlay, although there's not room for it at that point. Like, my head would just be like right in this little corner here. There's a I want to talk about some Black Friday sales too. I want to, like, you could join me on a little Chrome browser experience so we could see what's going on. But one of them that has nothing to do with audio at all, nothing to do with music production or video production or NFTs or science in any way, Far Cry 6. I've been playing. I think it's the best one yet. I really enjoy it, and it's $35 from Walmart, I think. That's like the best Black Friday deal I know of yet. Anyway, but Danny Gable, I was not a crack dealer. I was a telemarketer. That would have been a good, like, it would have been cool to be a telemarketer for a crack dealer, though, to just call people and use my little yes system. Be like, hey, a lot of snow out there today, right? Yeah. Oh man, traffic on 9094. That's been terrible lately with the construction, right? Yeah. Yeah. You know what would make you just feel like you had a full body orgasm for 15 minutes straight? Like, yeah, all right. Then, you know, get them in, make $10. I don't know. All right. Well, that was, I promised I would tell that story on the stream rather than typing it all out. And I did. So, let's see if we can start the music. I hope that title's right. Let's make sure. An attempt at making metal without a band. Nice. So I'm going to announce the song titles, and I'm going to split this up to be a little bit better. But basically, the song titles, I believe, are randomized on this playlist. That song title was Heavy Simula. And again, the idea was an attempt at making metal without a band. And I feel like that attempt went pretty well. I want to read the official challenge of the month, and I have a spreadsheet, and it just opened in the wrong program. Let me just look at the pinned comment really fast. That way I could read the official version to you. If you could see my desktops right now, you'd be like, "Yo, that's crazy, bro." Since I'm sure you talk like that. Pinned messages. All right. Okay, so in the spirit of simulations, picked at random 2 keywords and general theme that have been chosen to guide your creative juices for 20 days. The November of 2021 theme is identity crisis. Keywords: ruthless, makeshift. Optional challenge: make something that you personally think is terrible. Be comfortable with yourself as an artist and show the world you create for you. So that's it. Identity crisis is the general thing. And guess what? I did one this month. I actually got one. It's kind of funny because I think I finished it like an hour after the deadline. I was like going to send it over to Jay Nornak, who organizes these very nicely, who I actually need to I feel like we could both probably, this little system I have here, refine it to be better. So that first submission was pretty awesome in my opinion. That sounded like, if you're going to make metal without a band, that sounds like a pretty great way to do it. Sounded good to me. The beat was very bizarre. The beat was like, I don't know how to describe it, but that beat, I felt like it just wasn't even being quantized or something. It felt like pretty crazy. So yeah, congrats on that. I don't know what's happening next. I guess you might not even be able to hear that. Depending on how, can you hear my dog scratching herself and her chain dingling? That tells you how good my noise canceling is working. Okay, next up. This song is called Full of Compromise. like how that acid line sounded very off and then came on. Like it just made more sense as it kept going. I like how it blended in. Nice. I like those visuals too. That throughout a lot of that, for some reason, it was just kind of like MTV Amp mixed with coffee beans. I like that. So that track, let me make sure that I am reading it right. Live recording on a makeshift setup in a spare room with BeatStep Pro, Akai XR20. What is that? Drum machine? Behringer Neutron and Mod Duo X. Mix is terrible, but I enjoyed the jam and projecting a ruthless attitude. Now it kind of makes a little bit more sense. Oh hey, Noir, how you doing, man? Thank you very much. Beautiful. Yeah, I like that the lack of quantizing was off-putting, and then I like how I just got very into it halfway through. But yeah. Yeah. How are you doing, Noir? I was just thinking about you yesterday for some reason. I don't remember why. It wasn't like in a weird way or anything, but I was just like, but yeah, we need to hang. Need to somehow figure out a hang sesh. Because that's what cool people say. We say hang sesh to each other, like, yo, brah, we gotta have a hang sesh. All right, so this next song is titled Micro Cassette, and there is no comment on it. Much more fitting graphic there. Textural. I like it. That was fun. Next up, what? I don't know who next up is until it tells me. 567 miles per hour is the name of this song. Definitely like the Depeche Mode vibe here. Yeah, the chord progressions are very unexpected. I dig it.
Lost on the dark end at every turn, wasting my life while the jet fuel burns. Panic attack in the window seat. Why am I here if it's not for me? What I'd give to start again. What I'd give to reach the end. How do I start? Where do I get off? Will I only know when I crash and burn? Where do I start? Where do I get off? Will I only know when I crash and burn?
That was great. I really dug that. That was very cool. That was, yeah, there's a lot of different elements to that. The chord progression was very unexpected, which is awesome. Yeah, and I really like the voice and the upper diaphragm, like that. It really, really so excellent. The story, the comment behind that track. My job as a field service technician has me traveling a lot. Sometimes it feels like I'm never home, and I'm always in an airport or airplane or hotel. This song is an attempt to come to grips with all the thoughts I've had, or with all the thoughts that come with frequent travel. I can relate to that from touring a lot. I kind of felt that way when I did the Empress video. I think I was out of town for like 2 weeks and sometime. But, you know, I was in like a different place all the time, and a lot of those places were kind of like remote. And on the way back, it got less exploratory and more just trying to get home through the hurricane that was happening at the time. And like basically the hurricane was just like following my route home. And so I'd only be able to make it like, I don't know, a couple hours. Basically like what I'm trying to say is that like my whole day's drive, an 18-hour long drive, would only get me a couple hours on a dry, normal day. And so I didn't really know where I would end up. And yeah, that I could kind of relate. I was reading the comment, obviously, while listening to the thing. This next piece, I feel like I should maybe pause it first. Okay, so this one's called Private Poet's Entropy, and there's no comment on it. So let me read it.
Yes, tell this to all the world. That goat who cannot hold his belly in his arms still dreams of being sweetly dangerous among the women.
The value of drugs.
Where did you get that gun? We're all in danger. We're all in danger.
Will all wish to die, please raise their hands. Soldier and poet.
Get up on your feet. Get up on your feet and face that wall.
We need a doctor. Look at his face.
And then I see the shadow of my profile on the wall.
There we go. I like that like sloppy-ish beat in the background, especially. You kind of forgot that it was chugging along, and then you got reminded of it halfway through there. My voice isn't affecting these visuals, is it? Let's see. Okay, so while that last piece was playing, I actually was able to open up the randomized playlist XML, and I'm just reading through the code, and I'm able to see what's going on next, so that way it's not as, that way, yeah, everybody understands what's happening. Okay, so this next track will be from Dirkle. It's called A Third Way, and I will read the comments for it. Honestly, this isn't me saying this. This is me reading the comments starting now. Honestly, I've been having a bit of an identity crisis for real with music lately. I had so many ideas, but I was never satisfied. So I thought, let's do the optional challenge and make a bad song. And what do you know? Before long, I've gotten half a decent idea that I actually want to finish. That's intriguing. I like that. It's a good idea to try and make a song that you're unhappy with, to see if it's possible. Or to see if it'll just lead to something you are happy with. Ooh. And again, the name of this song is A Third Way. Yeah, it's really beautiful. I like it. Yeah, I like how it doesn't need to get huge or large or crazy. It just kind of exists on its own little realm. I dig that. All right, next up, we have NGC 3019, NGC 3019, 3019. The name of the song is Particle Wave Duality. And there's no comment or story. A lot of weird turns in this one. All right. That was cool. Yeah, I like that. There's a lot of weird, unexpected turns, which kind of made me wish that we had the tunnel graphic for that one. But very cool. This next one is from the artist Unthank. The name of the song is In the Basement. And the comment out here, let me see if I could read the whole thing in one line. I'm looking at spreadsheets. Some of them kind of go off page a little bit. This one definitely in keeping with the optional challenge. The best that can be said for it is that it's very short. I wanted to make some terrible fast heavy thing built out of Scream samples. It sounded awful and I abandoned it, but then when I saw the prompt this month, I went back to it and finished it. Quote around finished. Not me saying there's a quote around finished, there's a quote around finished in the description. It sounds like an identity crisis. I was ruthless with myself. It's definitely makeshift, and I think it's quite awful, but charmingly so. You know, a lot of people say that about me. Oh, look, the artist name didn't render. So this is Unthank, by the way. Unthank.
I think you need to go and look. I think you need to go and look in the basement. I think you need
Great graphics for this.
to look in the basement now.
The mind kept fading. The
The bobcat. I assume it's a bobcat. Sorry about the title there. By the way, I'm going to say it one more time. That's Unthank, that artist. The artist's name is not M. M is standing for artist name with a percent. Anyway, that's part of the code to do this. By the way, I see down there, I see right somewhere, probably over here if you're watching YouTube. I see in the chat, somebody said that there should be a Discord channel just for the links to the tracks post-stream. There's like a lot of things on the Patreon and the Discord that I think maybe Discord isn't the best for, and that would be a good example. Like you'd have to like go through chat logs from forever ago to find those links, which wouldn't be that hard, but might be time for me to just put a wiki page on my server, to just put like a wiki, just basically there's a lot of wiki packages that you could just install on a server that gives it that sort of same functionality. Maybe, possibly have it where Patreon members would be the editors of that wiki, so that way, you know, it wouldn't be as prone to trolling or something like that. But anyway, that's a possibility. Or I might just do something where you just have like a Gmail login or something. Maybe. I don't know. So that's a good idea. What else? I had something else to say before this next track, but I forgot what it was because my brain does not work. So yeah, that track was good. I liked the change up. That was, yeah. I don't think that was as bad as you had hoped it would be. So this next one is by the artist Virai. The track title is Road of Bones, or as somebody from northern UK would say, Road of Bones. Since this month's optional challenge was to make something I hated, I don't think that was the challenge. I think it was something I hated. I think it was something you didn't like, but hated's fine too. Hated is a subcategory of unliking. Since this month's optional challenge was to make something I hated, I decided to do this live in one take. No retakes, no overdubs, no editing, showing the world my warts. I think Eminem did this on Dre's Compton album. I think he like challenged himself to one take. That might be urban legend because it was a really good take, but this turns out well, Virai, you're the Eminem of electronic music. Assuming this is electronic. Here's your graphic. This is a good bone road. I dig this a lot. If you hate this, I disagree with you. Oh no, what just happened? Sorry about that. I didn't realize that accidentally pressing a button would... Yeah, man, for one take, that's that's very good for one take. I think you're crazy if you hate that. Hopefully it didn't successfully. Hopefully it's not successfully something that you hated, because I don't think anybody hated that. At least that I can see from this chat. Everybody's saying it's awesome, and I agree with those people. Next up, we have a track called Make FM Great Again by Nidoggled, depending on your accent. The comments or the story behind this track: I hate classic FM sounds. I used exclusively FM presets on the Digitone keys and the TR6S that I loathe the most, and tried to do the best I can in a makeshift genre I wouldn't otherwise touch with a dead MIDI keyboard. Happy with how terrible it came out. Okay, that's you sold me on. All right, let's hear this. That could have been a whole lot worse than you wanted it to be. I have not really played with much of the Digitone. I had one very briefly right at launch, and let me by the way, this graphic over here is just cracking me up. I love it. It's like the ugliest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, Digitone, I had one very early on, and let's just say that Electron kind of went the No Man's Sky style of launching a product with that one. Yeah, it was not good. Very crashy. A lot of features were missing. Electron, there's a couple boxes that they released where, or a couple, there's a couple things where literally on the packaging it says it has a feature, and it doesn't, and it's just planned for the future. Which I don't know if you've ever detected an air of crabbiness when talking about Electron things. And I've also never reviewed one, and I have some in the studio here. I did the machine drum on a stream, but that was just like some firmware stuff for it. Yeah, I've been a little annoyed with the company at times, but and also their stuff gets like covered so exhaustively in the rest of the YouTube space that I don't really have much more to contribute to it. So it's not that I hate them, but there were a couple products that I bought where I was a little less unhappy. Ooh, what on earth? All right, this next one. Let me make sure I got all these correct. All right. This next one is from our Swedish homeboy, Vijaru, and the name of the track is Nuclear Willpower. And the description, I realized when making this track that I don't want to make tasteful or poignant music. I want to make the type of music I wished I had the ability to make when I was a 14-year-old boy. That's interesting. So in a sense, this track is catharsis for, and I can't like zoom the way that this, I have to kind of stop mid-sentence and then switch pages. So in a sense, this track is catharsis for an identity crisis I've been having as an aspiring artist. I present this cheesy and tacky song that I had a lot of fun making. Well, I'm excited to hear it. The track's title again is Nuclear Willpower. I love that title. Okay. Oh shit. Fuck off! This is amazing! I like how there's so many expletives in the chat just from people's reaction. They're just like approving them, like go, go. Wow. Well, shit. I don't even need to say anything. Y'all heard what I just heard. That was that was good. If I made music like that when I was a 14-year-old boy, I would have gotten a lot of chicks. I don't know. I don't know that, but I would have been a more popular 14-year-old boy. If you're not putting that on an album, if you're not doing anything with that, you need to like put that into a licensing library somewhere, because that is like straight up extraordinarily usable for film and video games alike. Like, think about maybe my head's just stuck in Far Cry lately, but think about like one of those scenes where you're just, burning down some farm or something where they're, some drug kingpin is growing plants and you're burning down his supply. Like, that type of music gets licensed for that very often. And that is so I don't think I've ever heard, outside of the actual film, I don't think that I've ever just heard something and been like, this is John Wick as fuck. Like, this is so perfectly placed into that modern action movie genre. And I'm giving you a huge compliment here, because if you searched modern action music on any library or anything like that, it's all very trite and 10 years ago. Whereas, anyway, amazing. You won Thanksgiving, even though it's not a contest. If it was, if the story of Thanksgiving was a contest, it's a very sad one. That has very little to do with music or John Wick. Now, if John Wick existed in our like little headspace of the story of Thanksgiving, the sad story of Thanksgiving, then things would have turned out a whole lot differently. If only the Pilgrims had stolen a puppy. This next one is from Jungle Pickle. He's a common contributor to Sim Selections. The song is called I Don't Know Who I Am. And the comment, total identity crisis. I chose to create a song that fitted the normal verse-chorus structure, and I think it is terrible. Self-esteem's through the roof with this month's. I dig this.
Where is my heart? Where is my soul? Down in the dust like some stone. A face in the glass, reflecting my bones. Is it time to sit down and fade away? There's no time like the present to be another face in the crowd. I don't know who I am. I don't have a master
Yeah, this is excellent. Yeah, I really like yeah, that was awesome. I really dug that. And I like how it definitely to me it was kind of like Devo mixed with Pink Floyd. Like in an odd way. Like it had this sort of existential what's the word I'm looking for? The existential crisis, not crisis maybe? That sort of like existential desperation of Pink Floyd, but the quirkiness of Devo. And I really like how you seemingly recorded two different vocal tracks. I think you did. You may have been using some clever editing or something, but yeah, you listened to, or you recorded two, maybe even three takes of vocals, and I really like how playful it was. That was really awesome. Good job. Amazing. All right. Next up, we have our Nornak, who is the creator of MIDI Noose and also the person who kind of organizes this whole thing, who all of us should thank. Nornak has basically made this possible in a big way. And yeah, just everybody should thank him and send him gifts for Christmas. I don't know why I can't find him in the spreadsheet. Did you put yourself in the spreadsheet? Let me look a little bit more before. The Death of a Song is the name of the song. Let me open the original spreadsheet in a different window. Save this as a different file. Sorry. Microsoft Excel. I shouldn't even be using Microsoft Excel. I should be using something else. But yeah, okay, so the file's definitely in there. For some reason, it's not in... Oh, you're not in the spreadsheet. Okay, great. Raw files. Got it. Perfect. Wonderful. So this is Nornak, and the song's name is The Death of a Song. Let's go.
There once was a person. They had the idea of a perfect structure. A structure devoid of color. Utilitarian in thought. Without blinking, creating. Without breathing, painting. This person has suffered, not at the expense of others, but to themselves.
Great sample.
The artist breathes. Life created on paper and canvas. All saw their creations come to life. And all knew their name. Again, deep in thought, what was the artist to do? Create. 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 Never stop. Never stop. Never stop. Create. 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 Never stop creating. Never stop creating. The death of a medium will not be the end of creation. It will be the creation of a new medium. Never stop creating. Never stop creating, even if it faces adversity. Create. 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 The art is now devoid of thought, end of creation, end of life. Looking back at all of the things that they have created, not regretting a single moment, or a single canvas, or a single song. Create. 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 Create.
Wow.
Create. Create. Create.
That was like chaotic and inspirational at the same time. Incredible work. That was awesome. I dig that. Amazing. Good job. Very cool. Does my voice affect the paint going on here? Anyway, very awesome. And again, thank you, Nornak, for all that you've contributed to this community. Means a lot to us. All right. So this next one is from a guy who you know, me. Yeah, I did one. The song's title randomly, it's just called Mate Gen. I don't even know, Matagen. Sometimes I just type random things in. My idea with this track was I've been slowing down a bit when writing music, and I think it's because I have this obsession with doing better than anything else I've done, but I've been doing things for so long that I've obviously hit that, I hit a ceiling a long time ago. But one thing that I really thought would have taken off, like if you were to look at my career 10 years ago, and then like when I was writing things like Undiscovered Colors and these orchestral pieces, and allowing myself to go a little bit further melodically in my own albums where I was comfortable. I'm more comfortable being melodically complex in some way, or sort of branching out. Anytime I've tried to mix that with something danceable or something like Acid Wolf, Human Action Network, anytime I've tried to like make a beautiful melody mixed with that stuff, much like later on I heard Kiasmos, which is a kind of popular duo of like a film score and a techno artist, I believe. It's just fallen flat. And so this song is basically me trying to mix things together that I could never mix together, and I just would never finish those tracks. And so, yeah, that's what I did. And I tried to add in a lot of instruments that shouldn't have gone where they went. You know, like I have a bass guitar in there at some point, I have a violin in there at some point, things like that. So anyway, without further ado, here's my piece of crap. I think. Yeah. And that's that. Yeah. Didn't really do it for me. Yeah, like I wouldn't release that or anything, but it was all over the place, and that's what I was aiming for, my own little identity crisis. I'll put the session files, I don't know, maybe I'll put them on my GitHub. Like right now, as of right now, all my session files for anything I'm creating are typically going up on GitHub. Also, something you should know is that the melody, like the melody of that, or not like the piano, like a lot of that was just me playing piano, like over it, improvising, but the main melody, like those lead lines and all that stuff, done on this guy, the little mate tracker on my kitchen table, some headphones in, and just boop, made a nice little track. Anyway, I think I like the version on that thing more than the full thing, obviously, because the full one is an identity crisis. Next track is from Thomas and the Evil Computer, and the track name is Moist Chamois. The song's title is supposed to be Moist Chamois. I don't know. Am I reading that right? Maybe. But pronounced Chamois instead of Chami. Okay. Yeah, I don't understand any languages, not even English. And does hand sanitizer make anyone else cough, or is it just me? I like that you brought up a nice little like situational thing to talk about. It doesn't make me cough, but do you know who it has a effect on? Weird, like whenever I have hand sanitizer in my car, and not only is this a COVID paranoia thing, but I as most of you know, I have a lot of ducks. I take care of 13 ducks currently. And you don't really want to take care of ducks and handle them. Like, I check on their feet and stuff to make sure that they don't have bumblefoot, which is a foot disease caused by, it's a staph infection that ducks get when, and so, yeah, that, basically I check them out and look at it and, increase niacin in a particular duck's diet and put them up on a little like concrete thing and let them eat on their own there with a little bit extra niacin to try and treat that. But anyway, point being, I'm getting long-winded here, is that even though I wear rubber gloves, you do not want staph anywhere around you, especially if you have common like nicks and open wounds like I have just from being outdoors and doing handwork and stuff. So I always have hand sanitizer and I'm always rubbing it all over the place. And my dog, Lucy, whenever I rub it around her, she sneezes. Just randomly hates it, sneezes. I'm just tired of eating it. I've accidentally eaten it so many times. Like, I've like gone to pick up a Subway sandwich or something and then like put hand sanitizer on and then just got like a mouthful of it. That's all I'm tired of. Okay, so anyway, song title is Moisture Moist, and I like this graphic. Digging this. Harpsichord. That one just started quickly. Yeah, that's I like the palette of yeah, I like the general palette of music there. Okay, this is Sparga. The song name is Window, and the comment is, I hope the mix/master isn't too terrible. like those background taps. I also like how this is like the amen break, but not. It's like the good creation of it. Nice. Beautiful. Gorgeous, man. Wow, yeah, awesome. Wow, what an incredible track. That was so good. Great. Yeah, you know what that immediately reminded me of, in an amazing way. If anybody's ever played The Descenders, it's an Xbox. I mean, I know it's for, I've seen it on Steam too. I just didn't buy it again because I already have it with Xbox Game Pass or whatever. But it was like my quarantine game that I would play every night before going to bed for an hour, and the music is very good drum and bass and jungle, like very kind of not like super heavy like in your face stuff, just kind of like flowy stuff while you're mountain biking and trying to complete these trials. But if you've not tried The Descenders, maybe it's on sale on Steam or Xbox or Play. I'm sure it's probably on every console. And it's like a really addictive game. It's a fun mountain biking game. And I think it's still on Xbox Game Pass. So if you're a member of that, then yeah. And it was really funny. It came at such a good time. I should probably play it again. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. I'm recovering from a minor surgery/injury, so I can't really bike right now. But there's yeah, it was really funny because at the time I was also just like really into mountain biking, and I kind of just downloaded the game because I was like, oh, a mountain biking game. And it kind of worked perfectly. Like it would get me excited to like wake up the next morning and go mountain biking or something really fast for, an hour or two before starting work. Anyway, good track to say the least. God, I'm always blown away by the quality of so many of these. They're next level. All right, this next one is Agent VX, which, and the name of the title, or the title of the track is Incident Report Number 1. Is Agent VX, does that have anything to do with VX gas? Maybe. Maybe not. Anyway, first track with the new MPC Live 2 I picked up at the beginning of the month. How is that? I have the 1. I don't think I have a reason to upgrade, but it's, yeah, it's like I'm kind of wish I could just trade it in, get a new one. I'm the one who suggested this month's optional challenge. Thank you. As a general strategy for combating writer's block, and I was not successful. Normally, I'm pretty critical of my own work, but I actually quite like. Is that the end of it? Is there any more? Am I missing something? I actually quite like this one. All right, well, let's hear it. I bet we'll like it too. Nice. I dug that. Yeah, it was fun. That was a lot of fun. Reminded me of like a 2D platformer where I'm digging for some reason. Now I want to play Terraria? Reminded me of Terraria, like a lower bit Terraria. I actually never got into that game. I've liked watching other people play it, but for some reason it just didn't click with me. But probably because I'm just stupid. Or I think I was just like too into Minecraft at the time. This next one is from Aplut, A-P-L-U-T. And the name of the track is Rediscovery. And there is no description. So enjoy the mystery with us. Oh, damn. It's a hell of a start. good with the graphics. That was awesome. Amazing engineering too on that one. Yeah, that sounded so crisp. Beautiful. All right, this next one is from Kit's Tune Machines, and Generative Identity is the name of the track. And for the description of the track, for the optional theme, I'm not really a fan of generative music, so I took my own approach on it by using a variety of plugins and Max for Live devices to constantly tweak a motif. Let's hear it. I'm excited. I like generative things. The coffee beans again. Nice. Wow. Oh, nice. I just keep saying nice. It was very unexpected. I like that. Yeah, the melody was very very different from most. I am going to take a quick pee break. Be right back. It just started the next track. Sorry about that. That was not my... I don't know why it does that. Well, probably because I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm realizing that the Sennheiser HD 650s have a tendency of giving... Oops. Did I break them? That would be really a shame, considering how expensive they are. No, I didn't even come close to breaking them. Okay. They have a tendency to give me a headache. I was the last couple times I wore them for like more than an hour, and it's not, I mean, they're like open, semi-open, I believe. And so they shouldn't really, it's just that they're too damn tight around my head this way. Like, they could ease up a whole lot. Anyway, this is something I think I could probably honestly bend them. Anyway, sorry about that. Just noticing, like, I always have a headache when I'm wearing these, but because usually I don't have to wear them because, you know, they have studio monitors all over the goddamn place. All right, where are we? We are on, 2 left. We went through these. Oh, no, didn't really go through these fast. 2 hours. We've been on Hunter for 2 hours, ladies and gentlemen. Next song's name is Laughing Matters from Default Media Transmitter. And the story of this track has an identity crisis in 2 ways. It's in 5/4. Interesting. But it can't decide if it wants to count 3 to 2 or 2 to 3, so it alternates. The other way is that it's 130 BPM and still very slow. I'm intrigued to hear this. I want to see where this goes. Let's do it. Sounds like a rainbow is leaking. I really like this. Yeah, this is great. I like how it's dark, but it had a very, I don't know, that the tone of that synthesizer was really nice. So one thing you're talking about here, let me read your description one more time. This thing's annoying me. Okay, so It's in 5/4, but it can't decide if it wants to count 3/2 or 2/3, so it alternates. What you're doing there is very similar to Bulgarian music. Bulgarian folk music has, a lot of times it has a rest in it, and it kind of sounds like it's alternating. If you're interested, I'm willing to risk being copyright slapped by playing like a few things. But yeah, the Balkan odd meters is a really interesting thing to study if you're interested in like some really odd time signatures that don't make sense in the Western way we listen to music, but might not make sense to, I would say, a lot of people listen to it for the first time, but like you might not want to dance to it necessarily. But it's yeah, some Balkan music is really, really crazy in that way. It sounds like you kind of accidentally achieved that, which is cool. All right, the last track, I believe. Yes, the last track is by Obsolesium, and the name of the track is Oops, All Bass. And I'm going to read you the description. Try to. There we go. The description of this track: this is the most brain-melting type of track I have ever attempted to make, and usually I am a very texture-focused person. Half my time was spent on the drum production, which served as my own little identity crisis. Haha. I genuinely could not make this longer if I tried. It's supposed to be one compressed burst of emotion. Well, let's hear it. You're right, Cormac. I really dig that. That was great. You are right. There is one more track, and it's not in the playlist. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn this down and try and find it somewhere. It got lost along the way of these tracks. So it should be, yeah, the Plesio tone one should be right after the Kitsune Machines in this scrambled playlist. So let's see if we can find it. There it is. No idea how that missed that. Okay, let's listen to it. Sorry about that. Okay, so Plesio tone, stale chili powder. I tried to make this terrible by using a low fidelity sound font for all of the sounds. I only controlled it with MIDI notes, did minimal mixing, and did a very cheesy guitar solo sounding thing in it. I'm game, let's do it. nice. I really dug that. That was great. Okay, so if I were to move over to, try to get rid of this plane 9 window here. Don't need that no more. See if that closes without any crashing. And we could also get rid of this stuff. All right. And I suppose I could now show you my full form here. Okay, wonderful. Not bad. Yeah, that was a good finish. I like that. That was a and by using the like low fidelity sound fonts, there are some very much worse sounding sound fonts than that. There are you could go very, very deep into the terrible 90s sound. I am looking up some Bulgarian music. Okay. So I need to pay attention to this time signature. Ready?